make it, it's fine. It's early, we're all here. Put your paws together for Tuxedo Mask himself, it's Toby Proctor! Jupiter, Star, Power, Make Up, it's Susan Roman! Oh, of course she goes to the green one. And yay, it's me, there's Sailor Moon, awkwardly coming onto stage. Woo! I have to sit like a lady because I forgot my tights in Toronto. Hello! It's good to see you as well too. Your microphone is right there. All right. Okay, so this is my first time moderating a panel with the two of you. Our paths have crossed many times, being in Toronto, obviously. Pretty Heroes, Fan Expo, March Comic Con, all that other stuff. How are you enjoying your London Comic Con so far?
I love it. It's great.
I love it too.
The weather is beautiful. The people are beautiful. I feel tall up here. This is perfect.
But it's really, really nice. I've never been to London before, and the people are so friendly and they're so supportive. And there's another Sailor Jupiter out cosplay, and it's just, this is wonderful. And it's kind of interesting to be here with the cars at the same time. Now look at this. Don't do this. No, you have to move the microphone as you. I've only been doing this for 900 years.
I just want to point out your fantastic earrings, first and foremost. So, Susan is wearing Jupiter earrings, and they're absolutely stunning. They're absolutely stunning.
These were a present this morning from Come up onto the stage so everybody can see. Angel.
This is Angel.
Hi, Angel. Angel made these amazing earrings. So, do you have any more at your booth?
I have all of the Scouts available as earrings. I also have them available as coffee tumblers as well.
For those who drink coffee or
tea.
Gin.
I like gin a lot.
Gin is a good one.
That's a lot of gin, Tony.
All right, so I guess first question is first. Thank you so much. What booth area, what's your number, booth number? 2004. Look at my customer service 4-finger point. It is over this way, because we can't point like this, because then people think that you're actually pointing at someone. All right, make sure you check out Angel's booth, just at 2004, just right down over this way. Give it up for Angel!
Sorry, the 4-finger point, is that like the Vanna White thing?
It is, actually.
Yes.
So when you're in customer
new
service,
car.
right over this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess first things first, hi.
Oh, hello, I think the three of us are on the panel.
Oh, amazing.
Okay.
I met you in McAllen, Texas. A long time ago, yes.
Do we need
You look
another
the same.
microphone? I will get another microphone. I think that's my job and responsibility.
Yeah, we three started.
Oh,
You just started.
you just started.
Okay.
Supposed to be three of us.
Oh.
I'm Veronica Taylor.
Ash.
Okay. All right. Oh my God.
You put on this.
No,
You
he's
look
just
amazing.
Thank you. I'm stunned. It's like royalty.
Are you going to ask us some questions? Or?
First questions first. Let's just get this out of the way. How did everyone get involved in Sailor Moon, and then how did you get involved voicing Ash Ketchum?
You go.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled to be here on this panel with you all. I'm in Sailor Moon now, and every minute of my life is in honor of what you accomplished. So it's really quite an honor. I'm Sailor Pluto now. So yeah, I love the original so much, and it's just weird to be that I just wish I was working with you. I love everyone who's in the cast, but this is such an honor to be here with you.
Thank you so much.
So
That is so sweet of you to
But
say
it's
that.
the truth. I mean, I think we all, it's interesting what they've done with Crystal, for sure, but the original is what made us all such huge fans, and nothing would be possible without the work that you all have done. So I mean, don't you agree?
Coming from you, that is a huge vote of
No, I mean,
Really?
we're all
Thank you.
actors and we work on so many different projects, and just the fact that we get to meet here
Yeah.
and then hopefully work together at some point, that would be, gosh, even a bigger honor than this.
we got to meet the original, you didn't come to LA, did you?
Yes, no, I did.
Yes, we in 2015, we went to Anime Expo, I think it was, LA Anime Expo, where we got to meet the new cast.
Right,
And that was the
right.
first time that we knew anything, actually.
Yeah, it's
So-
a crazy thing. I mean, just as a side note, it's weird to work on something for so long and then suddenly other people are doing the characters and we're all kind of disconnected, and it's just nice to come together and talk about what we love about it. But obviously the original actors in Japan are the main,
Yes.
but you
Right.
guys are right there next to that, so
Aw.
it's awesome. I used to work on Pokemon. I played Ash and Delia and May and other characters, and the same thing there. We were all replaced, after the 8th season. So it's also a strange thing to kind of have a transition into that, where you have characters that you love and you're used to hearing a certain way, and then suddenly it's not you anymore. So it's all so strange. But I came to that because I'm an actor. I did every play I could do in elementary school, high school. I went to college. I have a Bachelor of Arts in acting, and I have a master's in acting, also from grad school. I've toured the US with many acting companies, and I just happened to have an audition through an acting coach for an anime that led to another audition, and then my career kind of rolled out from there. So I think for me, it's the combination of training and then being in the right place at the right time.
That's kind of fun, because the way I got Sailor Moon, the original Canadian voice director was Tracy Moore, who was the first Sailor Moon. I was doing a microphone technique course with her. I'd been an actor since I was 8, but never did voice work at all. And my dad, I was broke. I was like 19, and he said, "Listen, it's a $200 course. Just take it." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, Dad. I'm terrible at reading. I'm dyslexic. Cold reads are not my thing." He goes, just go. So I went in to Nelvana, where they used to do the Care Bears and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I went into the booth. We were there for about 3 hours, and I left. And she goes, "No, but before you leave, come. So what?" She goes, "If you work on your reading, you could make this your entire career." I'm like, "Okay," but I'm 19. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever," right? I end up getting a call for an audition. And I get there and it's like, oh no, it's a voice job. Like, good thing I've been doing that voice thing, Go in, I didn't see any, I didn't know what it was. Did it, walked out. And they just said, actually, when I first did it, they said, just listen to the voice, you don't have to match it, but just do the kind of same cadence, energy maybe, and then do it. And so I did, then I go away. And it was back in the day when I had a pager, and my agent, and I was on my motorcycle, and I got my very first page, like I just got the pager. I almost hit a curb because so I pull over, I go to a payphone, dating myself horribly here, call my agent, and I said, "What's
secretly
up?"
part of the Matrix.
That's right. Yeah. And my agent says, "Hey, congratulations, you just got Sailor Moon." I'm like, "That's great, what's Sailor Moon?" And they said, "That thing you just auditioned for." I'm like, again, amazing, but I don't know. And then but it was because Tracy Moore was the first director. I didn't even know.
That's amazing.
So yeah, you never know who you're rubbing elbows with, so be nice to everybody.
I think that's a good point.
Well, I think it's so interesting that, one of the best voiceover performers in Canada, I hope you heard that first part of it. He was taking a course in mic technique. Everybody has to start somewhere. That's one of the great things about being an actor, is that you're constantly trying to upgrade your skills. And so just look at that's just such a perfect illustration that he not only upgraded his skills, he upgraded his bank account and his entire life because of this series, which no, I'm just kidding.
I did pay my dad back though.
Oh, you paid your dad?
200 cold dollars, yeah.
So by the time Sailor Moon came around, I'd already been doing voiceovers for a long time, and a lot of we didn't. This was before anime. We just called it animation, or if we were being really realistic, we just called it cartoons, because that's what they were, Saturday morning cartoons. So I did a lot of cartoon work, and I did a lot of little boys, Care Bears. Wow, I can't believe I did it, I got a home run. that kind of little boy thing. I played Champ Bear in Care Bears, and I also did little girls, and all the little girls were very frilly and prissy, and oh hi, I really like your ponytail. Can I stab you in the eye? So it was all very typical. Along comes this script for Sailor Moon, and they said it's here from Japan. I said I didn't even know they had animation in Japan. Oh, you better believe they do. Now watch this. And so we watched it in Japanese, and we all sat there just flabbergasted because I had I do this for a living sometimes. I just have to glue myself. But I had never seen characters so animated. And the way the mouths were moving, you know, like, I had never seen anything like it. And so they said, okay, they brought the whole city out to audition for this. And every one of us wanted to be Sailor Moon. Oh, no, what, there are other characters in, I'm going to read for Sailor Moon. No, you're not. You're going to read for something else. So I read for Sailor Moon, and I also read for Sailor Jupiter, and I think I read for something else. Tuxedo Mask it was. No. And so I got a call about a week later from my agent, and she said, well, there's good news and there's bad news. You're going to be in the project called Sailor Moon, but you didn't get Sailor Moon. And I didn't hear anything else after that because I was so disappointed. I mean, everybody wanted to play that part like you would not believe because she was everything. She was funny, she was sad, she was mad, she was pissed off, she was silly, she was wise. She was a completely rounded female human being, and we would have killed to play that part. So I didn't get it, but I got Sailor Jupiter. And I said, Sailor Jupiter, wait a second, was that the one in the green? The one that was a tomboy? The one that was tall, not like me? And they said, yeah, that's it. And I said, okay, if I can't play Sailor Moon, Sailor Jupiter is definitely the closest to me of all of them. So it was wonderful, and now I'm going to shut up.
So, for those of you who don't know, your voices as Sailor Jupiter and Tuxedo Mask have been heard all over the world. And I find it very interesting because I have friends in Australia, and I didn't realize that the version that we got here in North America was the one that they've gotten in other places around the world. So how does that make you feel, and especially for you as well too, being, you know, Ash Ketchum, that like all over the world?
Well, it's just actually funny you mention Australia because we were taken to OzComCon 14, I think 2014 it was. I didn't know that it played in Australia, to be honest. I was like, well, sure, we'll go, but I don't know if anybody will know us. And so when we were checking into the hotel, I was fanboying because Jason Momoa just passed by me. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then I'm just standing there, whatever. And at the front desk, there was like, 6 carbon copy blonde people at the reception. They're very pretty and like, hello, welcome, blah, blah, blah. That's the worst Australian ever. And they said, and I said, oh, what are you here for? I'm like, oh, it's funny. We're doing a Comic-Con thing here across the street. Like, oh yeah, Comic-Con. Like, yeah, it's weird. I was part of a cartoon a long time ago. Oh yeah, what cartoon? I was like, Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon. And all of a sudden they all turned, look at like laser vision. And like, you know what that is? Like, oh yeah, right? And then from the rest of the weekend, every time I walked by the reception, I was just like, it was really awkward, but it was very cool. And then I realized doing these things in Canada, we didn't know that it would go, first of all, successfully, and certainly not around the world. So when you actually meet people face to face on another continent, it's like, I don't think any human is prepared for that. It's not real. I don't know what that is.
I think it's a real testament to, I think for whatever you do in life, you don't realize how far-reaching your actions or your words can be. That tiny drop in the pond that ripples out. Look, these things that we worked on in the tiniest studio, or nobody really cared about it when we worked on any show. But then suddenly, there's power in that because community forms around it. community in so many places in the world. It's extraordinary. So I don't know, it's lucky that, it's brought us together, it's brought us all together. It's just amazing.
Well, that's really a nice way. Boy, are you American?
I'm American.
You've got this wonderful
Confidence?
Weird accent?
No, you just got this wonderful, open-hearted embracing of anything that's good. I think it's like one of those wonderful American qualities that I always admire, and you've just got it
I would
in
think
spades.
Canadians are that way more so than Americans.
No.
But
We just apologize for everything.
That's it.
Yeah, like if I step on your foot, I'm sorry.
oh yeah, I'm sorry too.
Yeah, it's all fake. No,
I
it's
see.
not.
All right,
it's
that's
not.
good to know.
No. How many people here are Canadian?
Oh, how many
Okay.
people wish they were Canadian? There we go. My daughter and myself.
One. And how many are from outside Canada? Very few. Well,
We have you surrounded. No.
Yes.
I have a friend of mine lives in. Actually, it turns out he's a long lost half brother. He's a relative, and every time he lives in Connecticut, which isn't that far from Toronto. And every time I talk to him, he says, "So, you got your snow yet?" And it's July 8th, and I go, "Oh, that's really, really funny." It's just this anything over the border that we're just battling snow. But you get a lot more snow in London, don't you, than in Toronto?
Yeah, we're in a snow belt.
This is a snow belt?
Sorry, just like my.
Are you from here?
No, I actually went to school here. So
Okay.
I lived here for 5 years. I went to Fanshawe. Woo woo!
Why are you so far away?
No, my post-nasal drip is so bad.
Oh,
And I'm like, I can't stop coughing right now.
Like
because of
20
all
feet
of-
bad? That's like a doctor time.
No, I know. I'm just like, being polite and courteous. Not just like standing here.
Well, with that outfit, you dazzle from
Yeah.
wherever you are. So.
But you know
Amazing.
what you've got? It's your posture is amazing. And your whole demeanor.
Trust me, when you have a skirt this short on, you have to.
Okay?
So,
Okay.
speaking of that, what would you say is, Sailor Moon has had a prolific effect on people throughout the ages. How do you feel when people come up to you and say, like, you're my childhood, like, heroes? Like, how does that make you feel?
I feel very, very honored. It's because when you're doing your job, which is what we were all doing, our very best to make this series that was brand new to North America, to make it the best that we could. But it was done really quickly, and a lot of times we kind of didn't know what we were doing, and didn't know the basic plot, for example. And so at a lot of Comic-Cons, people will say, "Oh, remember in episode 14, when you did this?" And I kind of look, I think we all do, we look at them blankly and say, "No, I don't remember episode 14. Could you refresh my memory?" Because a lot of times, too, we would just do sections from different episodes and never really knew what the full episode was. But then there would be times when we'd be really featured. Obviously, doesn't apply to Sailor Moon because she was in every single moment. But when you were featured, and that those scenes really stayed with you, and then to know that later on, this is a gift of Comic-Cons. All these years later, you discover that your voice married to this image on a television screen, that synergy got into somebody's heart and soul and inspired them, or calmed them down, or gave them inspiration, or gave them confidence. I'm gonna make myself cry. It is the best feeling on the planet. Because actors, we don't get, you must think, oh, they have such swelled heads. Nobody ever says diddly squat to us. We leave the session, we go away, we go home. They don't say, oh, you did great. No, never. They don't want to spoil us, right, or whatever. We're called the talent. We go in, we do it, we leave, the talent's gone. Okay. So to hear real people talk to us is a miracle, and it's wonderful. And thank you to all the people who go to Comic-Cons, because you're wonderful. Thanks.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I have to, it's almost the exact same sentiment. It's, you know, look, I'd been, you know, a young actor as a little kid. I grew up in the industry, and I knew show business before I knew there was also a business attached to it, which was a bit of a rude awakening as you get to your 20s and 30s, and you start to figure out that maybe you have to treat this very seriously, because it was just kind of fun for me, because I was in my late teens and just turning 20 when this broke. Like, you have to imagine, I did this series, we didn't know what it was, and especially Tuxedo Mask, I had no idea of the storyline. I would just come in a nice suit, throw a rose, and skedaddle, you know? So as far as knowing really anything about it, even when it got on airwaves, we didn't know until I was on a streetcar one day and I saw this little kid get on with a Sailor Moon backpack. It had Tuxedo Mask, like a real Tuxedo Mask backpack, like merchandising, right? And I called my brother on a payphone and I said, I saw something crazy. I was like, Kelly, I saw a Sailor Moon backpack with Tuxedo Mask on. He's like, oh, that's so cool. Like, no, but like it was like real. It's like they bought this, like it's for real. And then from there on, I realized maybe this is actually something that I have to pay attention to. And it was kind of like, there wasn't really that many Comic-Cons. I think the first Comic-Con I did was in 1996 in San Jose, California. Lots of people. And I brought my agent, and he said he was really glad I brought him because he had never believed me if I told him. Because when we drove up to the place, there was like tons of people, and they passed by the foyer, and I said, oh, no, we have to, he goes, oh, no, we've been getting instruction, you're getting mobbed if you get out of this car. I'm like, what? Like, so I had to go up the kitchen elevator to the penthouse, and that's when my agent said, I would never have believed you. And, but this was back in the day when Comic-Cons, the odd person out was, everybody was plain clothes, only one person dressed up. And it was like, cosplay, what's that? And then it switched. There was this paradigm shift, and things just changed. And when that changed, it made our experience so much better, because then everybody's kind of living their fantasies out and really trying to enjoy this property. And I'm forever grateful. It's changed my life.
Yeah, I would say too, the fans are amazing of Sailor Moon especially, that there's such a dedication, and also I think it allows your mind to just expand, and use your own imagination, and you remember all those details from the show, and it's been amazing to be part of the Sailor Moon family. Just incredible.
It's kind of cool. I feel like a grandparent.
Oh my god. Did I tell you this at Anime Toronto? This is so funny, because you're just like, oh, I just show up in this nice suit and I throw a rose. And then somebody was like, okay, it's very funny to laugh at Tuxedo Mask for showing up and doing nothing, but his job was never to actually fight the monsters. His job was just to show up and believe in Sailor Moon so overwhelmingly, resultly, that she remembered she's a demigod long enough for her to fight her monsters, because she's the only one strong enough to do it in the first place. And in this regard, Tuxedo Mask is the first example of being Ken enough. In this essay, I will.
Oh, nice. That's right.
No, Toby did, and then he gave it to me.
Well, I basically said I'm the hang-in-there kitty poster of Sailor Moon.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who actually don't know, a lot of the production for the deep dub of Sailor Moon was done in Toronto. So that's why we had this opportunity of having a lot of the voice actors so readily available for us. Sailor Moon was very big in Canada, and it took a long time to actually get big down in the United States. So Michael Bendite, who was the person who wrote all the songs to Sailor Moon, so My Only Love, She's Got the Power, all those ones, I was able to interview him about a year ago and talk to him about the creation of it. And he was in Los Angeles doing that at Deke headquarters, so we're never able to meet, right? But I just want to let you know, Susan, that he says hello, and that hopefully one day all your paths will cross. Yeah.
That's so great.
So
that's lovely. Thank you for sharing that.
And some other random fun facts as well too is I've had the ability to kind of travel doing this, and it's really interesting to see that Sailor Moon cosplay in Toronto is as big as it is. Because like I went to Vancouver Fan Expo and it's all like, where's my Sailor Moons? And I'm like, nowhere. Okay, great. I know, it's really weird, like I was thinking about, but the thing is because like I feel that it's so intrinsically tied to Toronto that it's just like, okay, we're here. All right, are we gonna take some audience participation questions?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna come down. Does anybody have a question? We got a question over here.
Hello, do you guys watch anime besides the stuff you're in?
I think that's a great question. I watch some, but not a lot, only because of time. Even though I'm the guardian of space and time, I don't have a lot of time for anime.
You're not even a planet anymore.
Hello? You know what? Size doesn't matter, they say. I think Pluto can still be a planet. It's still in the orbit, you know. We'll discuss that later.
Have you seen that shirt? That is like the date of Pluto and the death of Pluto. It's I liked it, but
Yes.
It's still
But you still have like one of the most strongest Sailor Senshis behind your back, so you're totally got it.
Thank you. I don't watch a lot of anime because of that. Do you guys watch a lot at all?
I don't watch a lot, and if I do, it's only my scenes. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking. I've definitely had fans share tons of stuff with me, and I've been given recommendation. But I'm not really an avid watcher of television in general. I like making it. I just don't sit. I'm dyslexic and I have ADD, so I'm hard to sit down for a while. Yeah.
I don't actually. I used to watch regular television or stream things lately, and now I've decided I'm trying to kind of clean my brain out from being. You're way too young to have reached this point. You've got at least 89 years to go before it happens, but. I'm just trying to kind of clear my brain so that I'm not being bombarded with images and information that I don't have any control of, that sometimes upsets me, but I've already seen it. So I think I just turn it off. So I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks now, and not so much visual stimulation. And don't you find I'm a lot calmer? Don't you find I'm a lot?
Yes,
I think
do.
so.
All
I
of a
think so.
sudden I do,
Yes.
So calm.
Actually, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
When you guys record the new series,
Yeah.
do you ever go in the room together?
No, never.
Okay.
We're always alone,
never did either.
separate. We never know what the plot is. We're often doing lines from 5 shows at one time.
plot.
I have no idea what's actually happening, but it's a great acting exercise in that you really have to play the moment. You have to be in the moment, true to what's happening, and you can't think ahead too much because you don't know what's coming. So that's like life, really.
Well, I don't know if this has happened to you, but when we were doing ours, it was called Rhythmal Band. It was basically like professional karaoke. The giant words would go across. There would be a bar where, you say the thing, like if I said, "Hey, meatball head," there would be this gigantic H first and whatever else. And then a lot of times we just do cold passes, like we try to rip through as much as we could, and then they'd have infractions that would just say react, and that could be a punch, a laugh, a kick, or whatever. You just don't know. And on the first pass, sometimes they say, "Do you want to just go for one?" Like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then there's every once in a while you're like, "Ha ha!" But I was getting stabbed, right? So then we'd have to go and redo that. But
ours was the same, although we had paper scripts,
Okay.
and we were just like following through the script, watching it, and just figuring out when to speak and just kind of going with it.
Did you do
So-
3-click at all, or anything?
Yeah, 3 beeps
Okay, 3
in the headphones. Yeah. So it's all the same,
Yeah.
although we have the same experience, but had no idea that anyone else was doing the same thing we were, which is crazy, actually.
Yeah, I was always curious how
Yeah,
did you
same.
Okay.
Question here?
I have a question for Veronica.
Yes.
What would you say was your favorite Pokemon episode to voiceover?
I loved every moment that I played any character, especially Ash on Pokemon, but the first episode remains my favorite just because none of us knew what Pokemon would become, and there's so many points hit in that first episode where you find out how courageous he is, how he's just like us and that he's super excited, he wakes up late, he doesn't get what he wants, but he still has to commit. There's just so much in that episode. It's really my favorite, and I think it sets us off on such a great path for the 25 years that followed.
Thank you. It
Yeah.
tells us that we shouldn't ever give up.
You're welcome.
How many episodes have you done?
I don't know, 8 seasons, 52 episodes in that.
Okay.
So, and then we were replaced after that. So there were many more.
Quick math. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Wow.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, and my daughter and I are doing a podcast now, looking back at the first season. So to kind of dive back into each episode and talk about fun lessons learned.
What's
and
the name of
things
your
like
podcast?
That. The Trainer's Guide.
The Trainer's Guide. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, exciting.
Another question.
Yes.
Just wanted to ask the three of you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, just want to ask the three of you. You already said that you never really got to see the fruits of your labor while you were doing your voice acting for Sailor Moon. But while you were doing your voice acting, were there any moments that you were doing during the voice acting where things happened on the show that you consider your favorite moments of the show?
What a great question.
I know.
Because I know what mine is.
Tell us
Well,
yours.
tell us yours.
Well, obviously, it's for Sailor Jupiter. It's where she had to donate blood to save her dying friends, and then even when the monster comes back after she had to donate blood, she still went out there even though she wasn't fit to fight.
Wow.
I actually remember that. Wow. Any actor on the planet, the minute you have to involve yourself in a scene that requires digging down deep into your own emotional wellspring of experience, anytime you get a chance to hopefully connect with other people via emotion that's truly felt and not faked and still hit the marks that you have to hit for your dubbing. Now it's so difficult to do this, and it's one of the lowest paid skills that an actor has, ironically. It's crazy. It's so much easier to just go into a studio and create a character without being forced to adhere to all the regulations of dubbing, right? But if the scene's already been shot and you're trying to match those mouth movements and you're trying to dig down deep into some wellspring of emotion and really connect with the words, it's hard. So anytime that I actually felt tears coming, and I would say to myself, oh, I've connected.
Yeah.
For me, the best episode for me, it was when I had the most to do, was Jupiter Comes Thundering In. That was my absolute favorite, and nothing ever topped that.
You know what? I don't have any one in particular, to be honest. The only thing that's close enough to what line or what something hit me is the line that I heard in the earpiece on the day of my audition, which was Reno Romano, who did the first 10 episodes, and it was a, "Hey Meatballhead, what are you doing here? I thought for sure you'd be over there with your friends, especially since they're acting like total fools." And I remember it like it was yesterday, and I was like, oh, I don't sound like him. And they're like, no, it's good. You don't have to be like him, or you don't have to be him, but just kind of. And I guess it was just kind of blind luck. I did something right, and I think that remains kind of my most favorite moment.
Yeah.
I think because it got me here.
Yeah.
That's
literally.
where you got it. That's where it clicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is amazing that cartoons can let you experience real emotion, and for the audience and the actor to connect with it. It is, it is amazing. I think that the hard thing about Sailor Pluto is that she, at least in the way that Viz would like it to be done, she's so removed that we had to actually go back and re-record episodes because I played her too warmly. And she had to remove more emotion from it. And that's a challenge for me because I'm a little excited about stuff. And and I like to connect in a more visceral way. And when she's talking to Chibiusa, she's so caring, but with Sailor Pluto, she doesn't connect with people in the way that I do. And so to really kind of reconfigure that was a challenge. So I enjoy that. That happened in every episode where we had to just pull it back.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
there are so many interesting things that are being said here. I'm loving this. I'm learning a lot. Maybe maybe I could be a voiceover when I grow up.
Yeah, maybe.
So, unfortunately, we have run out of time. Where can everyone find you for autographs and everything today?
Well, I'm just in the parking lot. We're just over in the corner over there, I think.
What's the point we're supposed to do?
The four-finger point, yes.
The four-finger pointing, everybody.
Yes, just over here.
Toby's
You
out
also
there with
got
that
a set
Honda
of
Civic
steak
from like
tires.
1990. You're just got the trunk open, being all like, "You want some tuxedo mask
That's
merch?"
right. Hey, yeah. Want to buy a rose?
Yeah, right.
1990, that trench coat should stay
You know what?
shut.
Oh my God, Toby, you should be that dude that sells the roses at night.
Oh, yeah, at all the bars.
Yeah.
Well, you know, times are tough.
Times are
So,
tough.
But you'd have to wear the uniform,
please
the
buy a
costume.
rose.
You'd have to wear the costume, right?
I
Are you
would
up
have
for
to.
that?
I will. I get it.
Do you have one in your closet though, don't you?
Excuse me? Susan.
Just looking.
That's what I heard, but I'm not just saying.
Okay, yeah. So photo ops for everyone happen both today. I believe.
Is it 3?
Don't ask me questions.
Yeah, photo ops are over here.
Photo ops is
that
right
people
over
can
here.
sign up for. We're signing
Okay.
autographs at our tables with all the other guests over here. We'll all be here the rest of today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you can find us all on social media as well.
Where are we?
Where the red and white.
Yeah, the red
That's
and
you,
white's just
and
over
so
here.
we're over in that far corner, right, Toby?
Actually, if you'd like to follow me, I can show you where the bathrooms are. They're just over this way. Just,
Where the bathrooms are.
Get in a photo with us. Maybe we can take
Oh, yeah,
photos
yeah,
of
yeah.
everyone. You guys, this has been extraordinary. And
all right, before we go, I just have to tell this story because it's my favorite story in the whole entire world to tell. So, shocking, I may or may not be an actor or something, I don't know. But my favorite thing in the whole entire world was walking into an audition room and Toby was running the camera. And it was just, I'm all like, we like looked at each other, we're like, Toxie, he's like, bear, and I'm like, I didn't get it. But anyways, so that's it, everyone. Give a round of applause for Toby Proctor, Susan Romaine, Veronica. Okay, good night, everybody. Have fun.
thank you guys so much. It's awesome to be here. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And I'll be back here at 1:15.